You didn't have the mic on.
It's fine. It wasn't important anyway. Welcome back to...
He slapped it out of my nose. I stuck something up my nose and looked at him to be funny, and he just slaps it out of my nose and starts insulting me.
Yeah, that's what I do.
He's really mean to me, honestly.
Yeah, but you like it.
Whoa.
That's a purely visual gag.
For our audio listeners here,
We don't have a face cam.
he
Face cam.
said that and I kissed him on the lips.
Could you imagine if we had a face cam, how bad that would be?
But all my visual gags.
They're terrible. We don't need them. Plus, you'd be outed as the brony you are.
True. I agreed, and you still made fun of me.
You're not supposed to fucking
I was like, true, and he just went, fuck you, man. Asshole.
I gave this man a cookie, and he's still...
You gave me two,
Still
actually.
retarded. You actually stole that second one.
No. Maybe
I actually gave you 4 now, because the broken ones.
more like fornication.
How do you do this?
Californication.
You keep doing this. You did it twice. He did it twice. He hit the fucking button twice.
I hit it first on purpose. Because I Tim Allen. Tyler hates recording with me. It fills him with nothing but unbridled rage. He just sits there and mauls.
That's all I do. It's my entire purpose.
True. Shion Gaming. K-san. What did you just say? Oh, we're back to the forest music. Or the jungle music.
Oh fuck! I forget. I keep forgetting about his voice.
Oh yeah, Kasai. My love is
Kasai.
for this character.
This information is from a reliable source. It appears that they found the murderer of Satoshi-kun's aunt.
It had been a few weeks since the murder. Satoshi-kun still hadn't been found. I had no new information on his whereabouts. Kasai's report came, as a result, completely out of the blue. Does that mean the police arrested the culprit?
It seems that he confessed during his interrogation regarding another case.
That sounded strange. If it was Satoshi-kun they arrested, he wouldn't have worded it that way. It sounded as though Satoshi-kun wasn't the culprit. Kasai, who's the culprit? So it wasn't Satoshi-kun. I swallowed those final words. I was convinced that it was Satoshi-kun. The police and Oishi must have thought the same way. The reason Oishi approached me is because he was convinced that Satoshi-kun did it.
Don't worry. It doesn't seem like it's Satoshi-kun. I heard it was a lunatic who was aiming to continue the series of mysterious deaths.
What? A lunatic? What do you mean? Kasai shrugged.
I don't know. Since the investigation is classified as a confidential case, the information I can get is limited.
Confidential? Why?
To prevent the village from developing a bad reputation. You don't see articles about kidnapping while the police are negotiating with the culprit, do you? It's something similar to that.
Is that a direct reference to Akasaka? And the kidnapping of the governor's son? Or the prime minister's son? Whoever the fuck it was? Come to think of it, I hadn't seen anything about the aunt's murder on TV or in the newspaper.
These strange deaths have happened 4 years in a row now, on the day of the Tanagashi. There are those who try to make light of it. Now this lunatic who confessed the aunt's murder said he did it in imitation of the series of mysterious deaths.
Kasai didn't know anything else, so instead of probing him further, I reviewed the information myself. I was really shocked to learn all of this. I was convinced that Satoshi-kun killed her. I thought that was the reason he had to disappear. But it was actually some lunatic who killed her, and he had no relation to the aunt whatsoever. So, Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with the murder. If so, why did he disappear? I couldn't accept that this lunatic had killed the aunt. And what's really strange is the phrase Kasai used. 4 years in a row now. After all, I'd been thinking that this murder happened because Satoshi-kun had been in a dire situation and had nothing to do with the series of mysterious deaths. I felt as though Satoshi-kun's case had become somebody else's. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Do you know how many fucking times
We've gone over this?
I could tell you in my sleep that the string of mysterious deaths
is also
is
known
also
as the
known
curse
as the
of
Curse of
Oyashiro-sama.
Oyashiro-sama, where somebody dies on the night of the Watanagashi festival and somebody is Oni Kakushi'd or demoned away. Satoshi...
My fault. I did it again.
I know. It's you'll do it and I won't even be looking at you and I'll just start yawning. That's fucked up that humans do that, bro. Listen out for my phone buzzing. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Satoshi-kun's case had become one of those mysterious deaths. In other words, Satoshi-kun's case has become a part of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't like the way that sounded, because it was as though the curse had swallowed Satoshi-kun.
Wait, stop. Chill. Stop yawning.
I held.
Mayabara-san. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to confirm the tip that Satoshi-kun took a train to Tokyo. We don't even know whether or not he's in this prefecture, to be honest.
Fuck. You hit me on delay. Oishi broke the seal on a new can of instant coffee. I thought you knew his whereabouts already, since you seemed very convinced he was the culprit.
No, you got me.
Oishi chuckled and poured a cup of coffee which looked far too hot.
You have some good sources.
Huh?
It's a really classified case, but you already have this information. I wonder who leaked it. Looks like we need to review our security precautions.
Oichi smirked. Seemed he knew why I was here today. I'm one of the Sonozakis after all, and my ears are open. I smirked back at him. It's all about bluffing. Yeah.
Anyway, since we're friends now, why don't we have a chat? Nufu.
Let me ask you first, who's the real culprit? I heard he was a lunatic, but what does that mean?
No, I don't know how to answer that question. I want to know the answer myself. Really, I was convinced Satoshi-kun was the real culprit. I was rather surprised. It was rather surprising for me too.
Oishi threw himself on the sofa and crossed his hands behind his head. He looked up at the ceiling and smiled wryly. Oh my god, flirtatious Oishi? I'd sleep with him.
I know you would.
Like platonically.
Uh-huh.
I'd hold him deep at night. And when you give him a little squeeze, he's kind of like one of those dolls you squish, and you squeeze him and he goes, no foo foo foo.
I suddenly received a call from the prefectural police the other day. They said that one of the guys in detention confessed to the murder of the housewife.
Who was it?
He's a crazy dopehead. He's been in and out of prison for drug abuse. His statement says that he was interested in a series of mysterious deaths and wanted to imitate them.
Are you sure he's the real culprit?
I didn't interrogate him myself, but the prefectural police tells me that he has information that only the real culprit would know. He seems to have thrown the murder weapon into the Oji River. They're searching for it right now. If it's found, his statement will be solid.
I have a question, sir. Was Satoshi-kun's bat battered or was it just old? I thought it was just old. I wanted to make sure.
I don't think it's I don't think it's described that way. No.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to double check. Even if the weapon wasn't found, would the case be closed?
Probably. His statement clearly outlines the state of the crime scenes and the body. This information, like I said, covers details only the actual murderer would know.
You don't seem quite convinced. Oishi, still looking up at the ceiling, went quiet.
As a matter of fact, the dopehead was already dead by the time I got to the call.
Dead?
You know the spoons that are forked at the tip? They used those at the detention facility. I was told that he swallowed one and choked on it. They couldn't tell me if it was a suicide or if it was caused by some mental disorder.
I imagine somebody swallowing that spoon and gagged.
So, the investigation had been done thoroughly, but although I'm not convinced, my superiors are. I think with that, the case will be closed.
Oishi turned his eyes from the ceiling to me. He looked serious.
This is just what I personally feel, okay? So please keep it between the two of us. I believe that this lunatic is some kind of mistake. It might be either a big misunderstanding caused by a chain of coincidences, or, no.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I still believe that the real culprit is Satoshi Ojo-kun.
You sound confident.
Unfortunately, we couldn't find anything to prove it. He was at the crime scene. We obtained a warrant to search his house after he disappeared, but we still found nothing.
But you still believe he did it?
Yes. Duh.
I wonder how you can be so sure even though you don't have any evidence. It's incredible. Is that supposed to be like the hunch of an experienced detective?
Yep, this is the hunch of a guy who's been in this business for several decades.
Oishi smiled in satisfaction, but I didn't feel relieved. Where did Satoshi-kun go?
His disappearance convinced me that he was the culprit. If he wasn't the culprit, there'd be no real reason for him to disappear.
What if the murder actually was done by that lunatic, and Satoshi-kun's disappearance has nothing to do with it? In other words, what if Satoshi-kun disappeared because the Sonozaki family didn't like my relationship with him, and he has nothing to do with the murder? Was Satoshi-kun a culprit or a victim? The reason for his disappearance had become unclear.
I don't think they bother to make one person disappear just because of an undesirable relationship. What do you hear from the inside of the Sonozaki family? Do you know anything?
I wouldn't be here if I did.
You're right.
Oishi laughed out loud while scratching his head, and after he stopped laughing, he leaned over.
Alright, how about this? Why don't we make a deal? A gentleman's deal.
A deal? On what?
On the information about Satoshi-kun's disappearance. If you find any information like that, you tell me, and I'll also provide you with information if I find anything. Do we have a deal?
That sounds too convenient for you. Oishi chuckled.
Shion-san, I think if we leave things as they are, they'll conclude that the lunatic committed the murder. If that happens, Satoshi-kun's disappearance will be treated just another runaway minor, as they won't search for him as actively as before. But I will continue searching for him. Only I will do it. I believe you're intending to do the same.
Our motives are different, though. I just want to know if he's safe, but you'd like to arrest him, wouldn't you?
If the murder case was considered solved, Satoshi-kun would be free, regardless of his innocence.
I doubt that. Oishi chuckled again, but his smile didn't reach his eyes.
Well, let's be friends from now on. The enemy of your enemy is a friend, no?
I'm not opposed to the Sonozaki family, though.
Oh, really? I apologize then, no fool.
This is the way of Kurado Oishi, huh? As Sis and Kasai said, I wouldn't want him as my enemy or my ally, because both would be too risky. I probably shouldn't let my guard down in front of this big fat weasel.
I love Oishi, the big fat weasel.
He's easily the best character in the game. I sipped on the coffee to fill the silence, though I wasn't thirsty. Outside the window I could see normal life taking its course, but Satoshi-kun wasn't there. He should have been there, but he wasn't. I was scared that I might grow used to his absence someday. Where was he? I wonder how Satoshi-kun is doing.
I hope he's alright.
I know you might think he'd be dead.
You think he might be dead?
Fuck. I know you think he might be dead. Don't patronize me.
Do you know what people are calling his disappearance in Hinamizawa?
Huh?
They say that he was demoned away.
To be demoned away means the same thing as being spirited away. It's part of the local dialect.
He was kidnapped and taken to hell through the bottom of the...
That's, yeah. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. He was kidnapped and taken to hell through the bottom of the Onikafuchi swamp? That's ridiculous.
My little son. Anyway, the series of mysterious deaths has struck for the fourth time. It's too soon, but people are already talking about next year.
Are you saying the murder was the result of Oyashiro-sama's curse?
The victim was one of the Hojos after all. She was involved in the dam conflict, though indirectly. Really, it's not surprising that some people take an interest in the incidents, because they do always happen on the day of the Watanagashi.
That's ridiculous too. Oyashiro-sama's curse. Though I said that, I couldn't quite wipe away the fear from my mind. Why did Satoshi-kun disappear? Was it the Sonozaki family? Did he run away from the police? Did he really kill his aunt in the first place? Why did he even disappear? He was on his own. Oyashiro-sama's curse has nothing to do with it, but... That's strange. Satoshi-kun and Oyashiro-sama's curse. Somebody once mentioned those two together before. I bet you don't know who it was. Was it Rihanna Ryugu?
Rihanna?
Rihanna, yeah.
Rihanna?
The singer, yeah.
Yeah. Rihanna, Ryugu. Woogu.
Rihanna?
Reina.
Reina. I tried to combine Rena and Reina.
Which would be...
Rihanna. Rena. Ryugu. Rena these nuts.
What?
When did I hear that? Ah, that's right. That rainy day. It was Rena Ryugu who told me that when we were taking shelter in that shack. Ah. I remembered the creepy story that she told me at the time.
Satoshi-kun. Keiichi-kun. Satoshi-kun wants to leave Hinamizawa and run far away, even if only unconsciously.
That's what Rena Ryugu said. Rena had definitely pointed out that Satoshi-kun wanted to leave Hinamizawa at the time. She also said,
everything he's going through is a sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse.
She said that, for sure. She had definitely mentioned Oyashiro-sama's curse. The series of mysterious deaths had struck 4 times. Was Satoshi-kun being controlled by the curse? Is that why he killed his aunt and was demoned away? No way. That can't be true. Satoshi-kun's smile faded away in my mind. Satoshi-kun disappeared. Not only that, the reason for his disappearance also disappeared. It must have been done by a human being. I can't accept that he was demoned away. Notebook. Page 43.
Bye, Oishi.
Bye, Oishi. I love you. Goodbye. I love you. Bye. Goodbye, Oishi.
Going to the library.
You think Oishi would be friends with me?
No.
What?
I don't know.
I'd get along with Oishi. We could have a game of mental gymnastics together.
You would lose. Nah, you would lose. There's no way.
He's old, he's washed. I could get in Oishi's head. I just have to schizo Max. Keep him on his toes, you know, never let him know my next move.
Of course, of course.
You know, there should be a mod for this game where they just put me in it. And I'm
You
Keiji.
should make that mod.
And then I'm Keiji.
Mm-hmm.
And all the dialogue is changed to be around me, Keiji. Ryukishi should rewrite the game with me as the input for his main character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he goes to me and he goes, "You're in this situation, what do you do?"
And then you say the dumbest shit imaginable, and he goes, "Perfect." It's
Then
exactly what Keiichi would do.
And then writes that down. No, Keiichi wouldn't do that. Only I would do that. Keiichi's too stupid.
He says, "Perfect. That's really stupid. I know exactly how to work this into the story. Thank you."
But he changed my name to be Keiichi. I'm Keiichi.
So nothing changes.
No.
Good job.
No.
You fool.
I moved from one chair to another because the air conditioning was too cold. I moved with my notebook, my pen case with a bunch of keychains, and my cup of milk tea. She would. I did it all in one go. I sat down in a new chair, then opened my notebook again. I scribbled my thoughts and sank into silence. Wah. That's my new favorite intro song. Is when you're just kind of AFK a little bit and it goes, Wah. The series of mysterious deaths, dubbed the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. I'd been viewing each incident as a separate case, even though it was followed by another one. I've never looked at all the cases as part of a big scheme. After I wrote down all the incidents on paper, it became clear to me all of them served the same agenda. Thinking about how Rika knew every single incident that was going to occur, and Akasaka shit himself when he told Oishi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah.
I wrote down the victims. The first year, the construction site manager. The second year, Satoshi-kun's parents. The third year, the priest. The fourth year, Satoshi-kun's aunt. For the fourth year, one could consider Satoshi-kun himself to be the victim rather than his aunt. If I consider that each case arose from the grudge over the dam conflict, it's quite simple. In the first year, the construction manager was killed because he was a symbol of the dam construction itself. Of course, the real enemy was the Ministry of Construction at Bullet Prefecture, but it wasn't as clear as a target. That manager, on the other hand, had been aggressively shouting back at the villagers, so he was a more appropriate enemy to attack. If Oyashiro-sama had really cursed someone, it would have been the officials from the ministry. It's apparent that the target was selected based on the village's preference. Nice throwback joke. The second year, the accidental death of Satoshi-kun's parents. It's said that they fell from a cliff in some park, but it's doubtful that it was really an accident. His parents were labeled as traitors to the village because they sided with the dam construction, even though they were also from Hinamizawa. The Hojo family was ostracized during the dam conflict in order to prevent further pro-dam activists from rising up. That means that the Hojos were necessary during the conflict to play the role of the traitor. So when the conflict was over, they no longer served any purpose. The construction site manager was a symbol of the external enemy. The Hojos were a symbol of the internal enemy. Those people fell victim to the curse, and it seemed that the grudge over the dam conflict had ended. Yet those incidents were followed by another one. The third year, the leader of the three families. The leader of one of the three families, the priest, Furude, suddenly died of an illness with an unknown cause. His wife drowned herself on the same night. She seemed to have left a note that said she was sacrificing herself to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. Whether it was a fatal disease or suicide, their deaths looked suspicious. Mion admitted that the Sonozaki family didn't like the priest's attitude. They didn't like how the priest had been generous towards the pro-dam activists. The priest wasn't quite a traitor, but he was certainly uncooperative. Looking at these incidents, I realized that the curse was performed based on the degree of hostility, enemy, traitor, and dissident. This meant that the curse was actually payment. It was a punishment for the criminals of war. And the fourth year, I didn't understand this case at first, to be honest. At first, I believed that this case was separate from the other one, even though it occurred on the same day. I never thought that there would be any relation to the other three, but when I wrote it down and looked at it objectively, the victim is a relative of a traitor. After enemy, traitor, and dissident, relative of a traitor doesn't sound too odd. It comes naturally as a fourth target. On the day the villagers worship Oyashiro-sama, their guardian deity, the criminals of the dam conflict have been punished by the curse. Just like how I was forced to pay at the Sonozaki house, the criminals were made to pay as well. After writing these things out, I started thinking that the fourth incident might be in line with the series of mysterious deaths after all. Whether it was Satoshi-kun or the dopehead, it seemed that they were forced to play the role of a murderer as a part of a bigger scenario. Even if Satoshi-kun was the real culprit, even if he killed his aunt because of an ordinary grudge, the murder seems synchronized with the grand scheme of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, which is a payment plan for the war criminals. That murder was the result of his plan, of his pain. But what if somebody planned that as a part of a scenario? For instance, somebody might have suggested to him to kill his aunt on that day, that night, at that place? I had no doubts that Satoshi-kun decided to kill her in order to protect Sadako. But did he really reach that conclusion on his own? Satoshi-kun was optimistic and somewhat detached as far as I know. Would he really have considered murdering his aunt, even if it was to protect his sister? Couldn't it be possible for somebody to have chosen the aunt as the fourth year's murder beforehand? And they used Satoshi-kun. And Satoshi-kun was eliminated because of his connection with them? Looking at it that way, the murder of the first year resembles this case. The main culprit behind the case hasn't been found yet, dead or alive. And other culprits testified their fight had turned into a slaughter. But wouldn't it be possible that the main culprit had manipulated the situation? What if he had been told to kill someone on that day, at that time, and in that place? I'm certain. The first murder resembles Satoshi-kun's case very much. Does it? I mean, I guess in the sense of...
Has he been CIA controlled into being...
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. The Satoshi-kun be like, I'm mentally stable and can be trusted with illegal firearms. Mm-hmm. No, comparing it to the first case, right? The similarities are that the Vic got slaughtered, right?
Uh-huh.
And
his bastard, unrecognizable fate.
Yeah, his aunt got slaughtered, much like how the manager got chopped up. The alleged culprit is gone. And both happened on the day of Utanagashi. And it took a couple days for the culprit to disappear as well.
We are talking about the first?
Well, the first, I guess he kind of vanished immediately.
Immediately. The second,
was Satoshi didn't vanish till the day after, right?
Hmm?
Satoshi didn't vanish till the day after, right?
Right. until Sadako's birthday, which is like a couple days after.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, generally speaking, they're similar, but I wouldn't say that, like, they're too similarly detailed, you know?
Right.
Because it's kind of like a murder, an accident, accident, murder, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So did that mean Satoshi-kun was being controlled by somebody else?
Well, it was a murder, accident, health,
Yeah.
plus suicide,
And then back to a murder.
back to murder. Yeah.
I was gonna say... Oh, well then it goes back to... an accident. Relatively. And now it's a suicide again. Because it goes back to suicide, because Toмотake.
Yeah, the next year is Toмотake, who kills himself and claws out his own throat, possibly killed.
Yep.
And then, Takano is killed, burned in a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And
But she was dead beforehand.
and Rika dies, and the town dies.
And Keiichi dies, and this person, and...
Yeah, everybody dies.
Yeah. So did that mean Satoshi-kun was being controlled by somebody else? Oishi had presented me with a hypothesis that the Sonozaki family made Satoshi-kun disappear in order to end my relationship with a murderer. The gas disaster happens in Himatsubushi, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And it happens in Tatanagoroshi.
Himatsubushi is like 6 years before or so, and it's not until the end where they're talking about how this gas attack happened, and then
Yeah.
Akasaka is like, oh shit, Rika told me all of this, and now
Yeah. Okay, yep.
and now I see it all happened, and like, oh fuck, I could have done something.
Yeah. Thank you. But when I read the notes I wrote down, his disappearance didn't seem too spontaneous. It seemed like part of a bigger plan. Since I'd unexpectedly gotten involved in that plan, I had to be separated from him. Then Satoshi-kun was demoned away as planned. At first, I also believed that the Sonozaki family made him disappear because they didn't like that I was in love with a member of a family of traitors. But something didn't add up. Something felt strange. I wasn't the reason for his disappearance after all. Even if I'd never met him in the first place, Satoshi-kun was supposed to kill his aunt in June 1982 and then disappear. At one point I had been thinking of taking revenge on the hag. I believed that she separated us. But what if my relationship with Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with his disappearance? What would that mean? Who made Satoshi-kun disappear? I need to understand the series of mysterious deaths in order to solve this mystery. What did all these deaths mean? Who was behind them and what purpose did they serve? I wanted to know the purpose, the motive, and who was responsible. Who took Satoshi-kun? I wanted to know if he was still alive. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also called Oyashiro-sama's curse. What is that curse? Specifically, what kind of god is Oyashiro-sama? What blessings does he bring, and what punishments does he dole out? I wrote down my thoughts in the notebook. What's Oyashiro-sama? What is he? I seriously thought I almost hit the power button on my PC, and I was gonna cry. I was about to be so sad. I scribbled these things down. I was so absorbed by it that I didn't realize somebody had been standing behind me, watching me the whole time. I couldn't stop myself from gasping when I realized that.
Who better to talk about Oyashiro-sama?
Fuck off.
Who better is here to talk about Oyashiro-sama's curse? As soon as she starts, who is he? Who is he? Writing it down 15 times in her notebook like a schizophrenic. Yeah?
Oh boy.
Are you ready?
Oh boy. No. Oh, I hate her other sprite.
Okay, I gotta... how do I do my voice?
Hold on. Take a second. I'm gonna check Discord.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's pretty
You
much
good?
it.
Okay, cool. Let me give you your...
I'm sorry that I startled you.
Brooklyn
Retard.
is autistic. Oh, Azzy's streaming. Azzy! Oh my fucking god, dude. The game just got a whole lot more interesting. The intelligent-looking woman giggled. No, I was just a bit surprised. Sorry about that. She could have apologized a little better, too, since she had been watching me from behind. But she just stared at my face instead.
It's been so long since we've seen Takano. Are you Shion Sonozaki-san?
You must know Sis since you know my name, but I don't know who you are. Being twins is a pain sometimes. People you've never met before can tell exactly who you are.
I'm sorry. The Sonozaki-san I know would never be seen in a library, so I assumed that you were her twin sister.
The woman giggled again. Well, you were right. I'm Shion Sonozaki. Nice to meet you. May I ask your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself first.
Oh man.
I love this.
The clash of egotistical titans between
know.
Shion and fucking Takano. She seemed to love her own hair because she kept running her fingers through it boastfully.
Like, constantly do.
And with the long hair, you know she's got the flip as she's doing it. Oh.
I'm Mio Takano. You can call me Mio. Shion-san. Shion-chan.
Nice to meet you, Takano-san. Her condescending attitude bugged me. I hate meeting people like that. I closed my notebook and got ready to leave the desk.
Oh, are you upset?
Thank you for your concern. I like to be alone when thinking, so I'm moving to another spot. Excuse me.
That's a shame. I thought we'd be good friends.
Did you? I don't think so.
I finally met someone with the same passion. A fellow researcher of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I think it's quite unusual to meet someone like that.
She saw my notes. My face reddened. These are just theories. It's all nonsense. Just childish scribbles.
A series of mysterious deaths is also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Fuck off, Ryukichi!
I've never heard Ryukichi repeat himself!
Shut the fuck up! I cannot wait for the Silent Hill game. In the Silent Hill game, they're like, oh my god, we're in Silent Hill! And then like 4 hours later, someone's like, oh my god, we're in Silent Hill! And then Silent Hill fans are gonna do the Chaos compilation.
Chaos!
Where the guy's like, I'm here to kill Chaos! And it's just gonna be people talking about, oh my god, we're in Silent Hill! And everyone's gonna be like, Ryukishi can't write. And that's gonna be their takeaway.
Though each death is an independent incident, all of them clearly share the same purpose. Each year, someone dies of the curse, and someone else's sacrifice and disappears.
Is this Takano's theme?
Is this Takano's theme?
I would set this to be Takano's theme.
Why would Takano's theme be?
I like this as Takano's theme. It's weird and funky.
I wouldn't set this as Takano's theme.
Either this one or the really loud noise one.
Yeah.
That's like really, yeah. What? Oh, what are you saying all of a sudden? Someone dies and someone else, what? I was taken aback by her weird spiel, but I realized right away that she said something extraordinary.
Didn't you notice that the number of victims is always even? Haven't you realized that yet?
The number of victims is always even? I was confused, but I tried to figure out what that meant. The damn construction site manager died in the first year. There was only one victim. And the second year, the victims were the parents of Satoshi-kun, so it were 2 people. And the third year it was the priest. And if her death was also planned, his wife, too, again. And this year, the 4th year, Satoshi-kun's aunt died, and Satoshi-kun went missing. If Satoshi-kun's disappearance was planned, the number of victims was 2. It's true. Except for the first one. The victims always came in an even number, 2. Wait. I had just concluded myself that the first case resembled the fourth one. The main culprit was still missing. He might have been demoned away just like Satoshi-kun.
See? Doesn't it make sense now?
Takano-san sounded like a teacher who had just showed me how to solve a difficult math problem. I wasn't quite convinced, but I couldn't deny what she said either.
Did I give you enough hints? I really would have enjoyed a conversation with you, but I think you prefer being alone.
She's such a cock. Notice how Shion immediately switches tone and goes from Takano-san to Mio-san. Takano shows up and feeds her one piece of information, and Shion goes, "My life is yours."
This scene is the funniest shit.
I love the two egos, dude. I'm sorry that I wasn't respectful, Mio-san. Please, call me Shion. She seemed content that I changed my attitude. She kept giggling for a little while. She didn't seem that reliable. I didn't want to be acquainted with her for too long. But I don't get to talk to people very much, and what she said interested me.
Let me introduce myself again. I'm Mio Takano. Call me Mio.
Pleased to meet you, Mio-san. I'm Shion, Sonozaki, Mion's twin sister. Please, call me Shion. I took the hand that Mio-san held out as a sign of reconciliation. Please, tell me more. You said that there's always 2 victims? One dies due to the curse, and the other one is a sacrifice?
Shion-chan, before we get into that, could you tell me why you became interested in this?
She leaned over and looked into my eyes. It was kind of uncomfortable.
She's so creepy.
I love her so much.
So funny.
I'm starting to get gaslit into Takano-san as the best girl in this game. It's slowly but surely. I'm slowly getting gaslit into Takano.
I have put Crystal's face over Takano before.
Have you really?
Crystal's avatar, yeah. They're both autistic. I'm pretty sure they're just canonically autistic.
They're both canonically autistic. They're both just kind of fucking creepy, and they're both genuinely psychotic.
Now you have to find out where I put it up.
Oh God.
You haven't watched the video yet, I know that.
No, because I haven't watched Watanagashi yet. I'm so excited to watch Watanagashi, dude. Mio-san, how much do you know about me? I guess you have an idea if you know my name.
I don't know much. Just that you recently returned from a boarding school.
I see. So I think you can imagine that I want to know more about the mysterious series of deaths that happened while I was away. I'm just curious.
I see. You're curious, huh?
I got the impression that she knew about what happened to Satoshi-kun and me because she instantly recognized me as Shion, not Mion. I didn't know why I thought that way, as she shouldn't have access to the sources that, for instance, Oishi does. It was just the look in her eye that made me think that way. Let me ask you a question this time. You called me a fellow researcher of Oyashiro-sama's curse, didn't you? So why are you researching the curse? You also stated that there's always an even number of victims in the mysterious deaths. It's true that Hinamizawa's mysterious deaths are often called Oyashiro-sama's curse, but why would you delve into the mysterious deaths if you're researching the curse itself?
Shion-chan, you're asking too many questions at once. I can tell what you really want to know.
Oh, I couldn't say anything in return. Maybe I've been too inquisitive.
I'll answer your questions one by one. I'm not just researching the curse, I'm not just researching the curse, as my subject is much more broader than that. I'm researching the history of Onikafuchi Village. In plain terms, I'm researching the dark and ancient history of Hinamizawa.
Onikafuchi Village? Isn't Onikafuchi the bottomless swamp some people believe is connected to hell? And what dark history? I kept asking questions. Mio-san, however, looked pleased to hear them.
Onigafuchi Village is the old name for Hinamizawa, as it was known back before the Meiji era. About the dark history. You know a little bit about man-eating demons, I assume.
Ah, the man-eating demons, huh? Kasai? That was a fairy tale told in Hinamizawa. A long time ago, demons came out of the swamp, and while the villagers battled with them, they ended up living peacefully together, transcended and became a sacred people, having demon blood in their veins. That long-forgotten fairy tale came back to my mind vividly.
You know this story because you're a villager, of course. But what about the story of the cannibal banquet?
What's that?
You know that the villagers have the blood of man-eating demons in their veins, don't you?
Yeah, I think I've heard of it. I dodged the question. Hinamizawa used to be a desolate village, but it grew in prominence after the Second World War, and expanded its influence to Okinomiya and other areas. The people who disliked and discriminated against the village called us man-eating demons. I remembered that. The young villagers don't take it seriously, but the older people can get seriously upset about it. They certainly can't take it as a joke. So the term man-eating demons is forbidden. We normally never use it. Even during my rebellious phase, I never spoke those words, as if you still aren't in it. Mio-san, however, seemed to have no qualms with saying it out loud.
Are you upset?
About what?
I know people hate the phrase in Hinamizawa. I apologize if I made you feel uncomfortable.
The old people wouldn't like it, but I'm fine. Would you continue?
Thanks. Okay, so the ancient villagers had a custom of cannibalism. They ritualized this custom and held various ceremonies based around it. The festival we hold in June isn't just an early summer festival. It used to be a banquet in which villagers chased after a sacrifice and ate them. They bound the sacrifice to a table, gutted them, and dumped the organs into a river. Wata can mean cotton, but it also means organs. That's the root of the word watanagashi.
Whoops. Organ drifting. Watanagashi.
Indeed. I believe they started using futon mats to cover it all up around the Meiji era. According to my research, they wouldn't be able to do that openly nowadays.
Huh. Everything Mio-san was talking about sounded startling. I was just taken aback. I couldn't wholly believe it right away. She sensed that from my expression.
It's not a hoax. I didn't make any of this up. If you promise not to tell anyone, I can show you my notes on Watanagashi.
Mio-san took out a notebook from her bag and flipped through it. She appeared to be doing her research thoroughly. Thank you. I'd love to read it.
Sure. I'd like to keep it confidential. But I guess I should share it with my fellow researcher.
Mio-san handed me the notebook a bit hesitantly. It looked like it'd take a whole night to finish reading. It was densely packed with information. I saw copies of various documents and quotes in there too. It wasn't just some delusion of hers. You told me that one person dies because of the curse, and another person is sacrificed and disappears, right? A person is sacrificed and disappears. Satoshi-kun had gone missing. Did he become a sacrifice? What is a sacrifice anyways? Mio-san looked pleased to hear my questions again. She took out another notebook and handed it to me.
I think you'll understand once you read it, but I'll give you the digest version. Oyashiro-sama's curse is simply Oyashiro-sama's anger. In other words, the curse is caused by Oyashiro-sama's anger. Do you follow?
Yeah. You're saying that Oyashiro-sama was mad at the people who opposed the village during the dam conflict, and that's why the curse occurred.
That's right. Oyashiro-sama's anger has to be pacified. If not, something even worse will occur. So all the successive priests at the Furude shrine had to perform a sacrifice every time the curse struck, in order to pacify Oyashiro-sama. It's called a sacrificial ritual.
So, each year on the day of the Watanagashi, one person dies because of the curse, and another one is sacrificed to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger? But only one person is actually murdered each time. I've never heard of human sacrifices being made.
Naturally, there's no body. The ritual of sacrifice requires the offering to be sunk in the... The ritual of sacrifice requires the offering to be sunk into Onigafuchi Swamp. That swamp is bottomless, and no one would ever surface once they were thrown in there. Nobody would ever be found, of course. I like how everybody just agrees that Onigafuchi is bottomless. And like, nobody's like, I mean, it's not actually bottomless, right? It's everybody just says the Onigafuchi Swamp is bottomless, and then that's just what everybody operates on.
And they move on, yeah.
And then it's like, I mean, no?
No one's ever been like, you know, we could, like, rake the swamp and look for, like, bones or, like, corpses or, like, anything like... No. Get a team of No.
No.
It's bottomless.
It's bottomless.
Once you put someone in there, they won't come back. Bitch and Satoshi.
Bitch and Satoshi.
There's the bad in there. I'm so glad that was the canon read. That should be the canon dialogue. So one of the victims is always thrown into the swamp every year? Does that mean Satoshi-kun is also at the bottom of that dark green swamp?
I don't know. I'm not sure that they really throw them into the swamp. But those who make these incidents happen must be eliminating one person based off that legend.
Each year, a traitor to the village dies on the day of the Watanagashi because of Oyashiro-sama's curse, and another person is sacrificed in order to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. That person's body will never be found because he or she is supposedly thrown into the bottomless swamp.
Yes, you get it. The series of mysterious deaths always involve both a curse and a sacrifice. It's a system that allows 2 traitors to die every year. What I'm telling you now probably isn't sufficient, so it might be hard to grasp. Instead, I want you to take the time to read my notes.
Ghetto.
Do you think they got my my reading?
I hope.
You'll see that what I'm telling you isn't far from the truth at all.
I heard a man's voice just then.
There he is.
A middle-aged man with a hat was waving at Mio-san from the entrance.
Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to talk to you more, but I guess we'll have another chance to chat. I'll leave those notes to you. I'm looking forward to hearing your opinions.
Mio-san wrapped up the conversation and headed to where the man was waiting for her. She left her old notebooks in my hands. Mio-san waved at me as she left the library with her companion. I took a seat again and opened what she'd given me. What bugged me was the series of mysterious deaths, also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Maybe I'd be able to get closer to the truth by reading these notebooks. If I studied them carefully, I might be able to find out who was really behind the incidents. Why did Satoshi-kun have to disappear? What was he involved in? How did that happen? Hey, Tyler. Why did Satoshi-kun have to disappear? What was he involved in? How did it happen? It's only like the 9th time he said it so far this chapter.
Love it.
Research notes, Mio, Takano. I started flipping the pages, this time making sure that no one was watching over my shoulder. Why doesn't Shion just put her back to a wall? She'd be reading. It was time for the library to close. I had to leave. I bought some food on my way home. Great detail. I shut my door and locked it right away. Then I heard the door of the neighboring apartment open. Kasai lived next door. Nobody else lived on this floor of the nearly empty apartment building anyways. I'm so stupid.
Yeah?
Oh my god, I'm so stupid.
Yeah? What's that?
Oh my god, I'm so stupid.
Why is that? What happened?
It's the same apartment building she's in Watanagashi.
Yeah.
And her neighbor is Kasai.
Uh-huh.
And so that's when she fell out the window.
And her neighbor
was
heard her.
like, yeah, and heard a scuffle. And then she fell out the window and they were like, oh, would she kill herself? And Kasai was like, fuck no, she wouldn't. And they couldn't find anybody.
Mm-hmm. What you saying?
Oh my god.
What you saying there, buddy?
I'm saying that Kasai could have lied. But I don't think he betrayed Shion.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so either.
I don't think so either. I don't think that's
It's
the right
too-
takeaway from that. That's not the right takeaway
Yeah.
from that.
No.
I'm just gonna pin that as very interesting, and then come back to it. You wanna?
I'm glad you made that connection though.
Yeah. Well, because I was like, there was a part of me that's like, well, maybe it's the same apartment building. Like, I'm doubtful that like whatever. And then as soon as she said Kasai lives next door, I was like, okay, yeah. I clearly heard the door open and close. Kasai must have noticed that I came home and was coming over because he wanted to talk to me. I unlocked the door and shouted out to him. Is that you, Kasai? I'll leave the door unlocked for you.
Who is it?
Is it Mion?
Try it.
Definitely Mion. I'm not Kasai-san, Shion. That voice, I twitched. Someone knocked.
Welcome, Dylan. Dylan J. Lee.
That was so handsome.
Your hand is so wet.
I know, I'm a sweaty guy. I'm sorry. I'm under the assumptions, Mion. Can I come in? Sure. Sis. I'm smart, dude. The door
did it for
slowly opened. Sorry. I had something in my throat. It's Mion making that face, but when she makes that face, all I can think about is her like ripping Keiichi's skin off.
Wow, look at those tits.
Mion's the type of bitch to look at you like this and go, "Your skin looks uncomfortable. You should take it off. You should take it off. There's bugs under your skin." You see what I'm saying?
Kei-chan, I think I saw something crawling around under your skin.
Kei-chan, I think I saw a worm in your arm. And then she reaches over and just and like degloves him.
Yeah. Sure.
I want Mion to peel me like an apple.
Watch out, Kei-chan, it laid eggs. She starts just digging into you.
Jesus Christ.
I like Mion. The door slowly opened. My alter ego, Mion Sonozaki, appeared. She was holding a box of cake while smiling timidly. And then the cake, when she opens the box, there's 3 candles, and they're on the little fingers that are drawn, and it says, "Sorry about your fingernails." She gives him cake. Would you accept? Room poll? Would you accept? Room
Her
poll?
apology?
If you're Shion and Mion gives you a cake that's 3 candles that are lit up on drawn fingers and it
Yeah.
says "Sorry about your fingers," would you accept? It's pretty funny.
I'd think about it. I'd have to think about it.
Are you gonna keep standing there until I escort you? Come in. Sorry, this room doesn't look very cute. It looks comfortable. Sis looked a bit tense when entering my room. It was her first time here, and she comes in. She just swings on her. How's life? My new school is as boring as I thought it would be. I usually go, but I skip classes when I don't feel up to it. I couldn't do that when I was going to St. Lucia's. So St. Lucia's was really tough, huh? Huh. You should go there sometime. Sorry. I brought cake. Let's eat. 2 cheesecakes. Cringe. Mion opened the box. I saw 2 cheesecakes
He didn't
there.
get the finger cake like he wanted.
I didn't get the finger apology cake. We have the same taste in food, so we don't have to fight if we don't have to fight if we get 2 of the same thing. I chatted with her over the cheesecake. I talked to her about school and whatnot. Just 2 dumb green bitches talking about cheesecake, dude. If you need furniture, tell me. I might be able to get some for you. I finally got used to this room. But I think I might move out soon, so the furniture won't be necessary. Thanks, though. Dad wants me to come back home. I don't want to live with him, but he sounds desperate. Speaking of Dad, father called me. Yeah, he
What a
did.
fat bastard.
How old is your mom?
51?
Went to pubs to see if they had the Avatar frosted flakes yet.
Dude, she brain rots Avatar. Like, you look, man, if my mom brain rots
Avatar, the
anything,
blue
yeah,
tail fuckers?
she brain rots Avatar.
How?
Like, unapologetically.
Oh my god, I didn't know
Why?
those people existed.
No,
Yeah.
they do. I just didn't know your mom was one
She
of them.
hardcore brain rots Avatar,
I
dude.
didn't know your mom was
That's
one of them.
wild.
Oh, yeah. He'd be pleased if you came home. He looked lonely while you were gone. Huh. You can only say that because you don't have to live with him. Come to think of it, this was the first time I'd talked to Sis since I was allowed to live as Shion Sonozaki. She didn't look like how she was at the Sonozaki house that day. The successor of the Sonozaki family and my twin sister are two different people. The demon lives inside the leader of the Sonozakis. Our bodies are exactly the same, except for the tattoo of the demon on her back. Mion's destiny as the successor was set in stone when she got that tattoo. Is that why she wears the turtleneck?
I don't know.
Because, yeah, she has the yellow shirt and then she has, like, the collar that's up there, so she's obviously wearing something under it.
It's part of the shirt.
I guess. I don't
See,
know.
this cat.
That's just wrong.
That's
though.
wrong.
That's
That's
just wrong.
incorrect sprite. No, I think
Also,
she
'cause
wears
she doesn't
like
have a
another
gun
layer.
or her fucking hoodie or
Which means with
Shirt.
which means with the jacket around her waist, she has currently 3 layers on. In the
Hoes
summer.
don't get hot.
In the summer.
I'm under the headcanon that she wears a shirt that covers her back.
I feel like that's a
Like,
collar,
like it's
but
one
it
of
is
those
like
like
a girl.
sleeveless things.
It's so weird. I don't know what that is.
I don't think it ever has. I don't think
Is it
that's
like
ever a
is it like
detail that's
spats?
important anyway.
Just like
No, not at all.
The like is the black line on her neck
My
a collar? Yes.
my
or no? I don't think it
headcanon
matters.
is that she's got like the Fred Jones thing going on
Explain.
from Scooby Doo. You know where Freddy has like the collar, the blue collar that like matches his pants,
Yeah.
and so he has like the kind of one piece bodysuit.
it's a big one piece.
Yeah, that's my head.
Uh,
Can we get much higher?
So high.
Signal off to my One Piece fans out there. It's pretty simple. The Mion from that night was the different Mion from before me. When I was forced to tear off my fingernails, I'd momentarily despised her. But if I were the next leader of the family, I'd have done the same. Shion, how are your fingernails? Not very attached, you dumb asshole. The wounds have closed. I don't bandage them anymore because it looks too conspicuous. But my nails still look ugly, so I don't really like showing them to people. I sneered at her, displaying my incomplete fingernails. Mion grew quiet and looked down. You don't have to apologize. You did what you had to do. You just played the role of the successor. I'm not holding any grudges. I always forget that Mion has a Yakuza tattoo. I'm sorry. Okay, apology accepted. But if you apologize one more time, that'll be cancelled. I won't forgive you for the rest of my life. Huh? What do you mean? Once you start apologizing, you never stop. So I'm cutting you off. Based. Will you really forgive me? About Satoshi-kun as well. My heart ached when she mentioned his name. It felt just like the ache of an old wound. Okay, it's Mion. I figured you loved him. No wonder. I shouted it out loud in front of all of you. I'm not embarrassed anymore. Granny truly believes you've atoned. She thinks you've done all you need to do, so the matter is finished. That's good. My pain won't go to waste then. Oh, Shion. I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to, though. Oh, shit! Oh,
It was
Mion!
Mion that said it.
I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to, though. Can we get much higher? I started choking when I heard her say that. I just said it to her myself. I said that I had forgiven her completely, but that promise instantly evaporated. Just because of what she said, I felt like I turned into a completely different person. What did you just say, Mion? Did you say, I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to? Who else could know other than you and your folks? What did you say? Where did he go? I felt my eyeballs reddening in anger. It felt as though they were about to pop. I choked on a burning sensation in my throat. Guh. Mion's expression rapidly changed. It looked like she noticed the devil's mask on my face. We were one and the same. We could understand each other's thoughts without voicing them. So showing our emotions was like unveiling everything in our hearts to the other.
Expressions.
Sorry. Even though I told her not to apologize anymore, Mion apologized. I felt like strangling her. I was going to make her confess where she'd hid Satoshi-kun. If she told me she threw him into the Onikafuchi swamp, I'd strangle her to death right then and there. I really don't know what happened to Satoshi-kun. That's a lie. It's true. Granny doesn't know anything either. Please, believe me. That's a lie. Are you saying that Oyashiro-sama's curse demoned him away? There can't be a curse. There can't be. Words kept coming out of my mouth like I was chanting a spell. I wasn't speaking by my own will anymore. It was the demon who was controlling me. The demon that'd been sleeping deep inside me woke up and was speaking through my mouth. My hands... Okay, I'm really starting to believe that the end of Watanagashi that Mion is Shion and Shion is Mion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Shion has incredible bursts of incredible violence.
She is a bit of a schizophrenic, yeah.
Shion is genuinely schizophrenic.
It's a bit crazy.
Just a little.
She's a little goofy ahhh, you know what I'm saying?
Now it's ringing.
Oh my fucking god.
So high.
All I know is the can we get much higher?
Me too.
And then the guy going, the One Piece!
The One Piece is real!
One Piece is real!
The demon that had been sleeping deep inside me woke up and was speaking through my mouth. My hands, I mean. The demon's hands grabbed Mion by the neck. You guys demoned Satoshi-kun away! You and the Sonozaki family! Give him back to me! Give him back! A yandere, you say?
Uh-huh.
My hand slowly but surely squeezed Mion's neck. Mion put her hands onto mine. I looked at her fingers. 3 of her fingernails on her left hand looked as ugly as mine. Mion, what's this? Tears rolled down her cheeks. She didn't have to answer. She had the same scars as I did. She atoned as well. The way those wounds were healing looked the same as mine. Could you imagine? You just are like, man, I wonder where Satoshi-kun went. And then you just have the guy from the animation yelling at the girl to get out of his Uber, just fucking strangling you. and then you reach your hands up and all of a sudden she just goes, Mion, oh my goodness, what happened to you? You darling baby angel. Shion, best Sonozaki sister.
I think I would legitimately just be scared. I would just be, just freakishly scared. And turned on, kind of.
Hell yeah, brother, I'm into that.
Still so good at that.
I know. So did she get these wounds around the same time I did? Mion is she's such a sweetheart.
She's a good girl!
She's
a good girl!
She's such a sweetheart.
Oh my god!
She's such a sweetie, dude. It was unfair that only you had to go through that. I felt so bad. Mion is such a sweetheart, dude.
She breaks my heart, man.
Mion started sobbing. I stood there, petrified, still wringing Mion's neck. Since I found out you love Satoshi-kun, I really wanted you to be happy. Because it's always only you who has to suffer, even though we're twins. Oh, Mion's such a sweetie.
She's a good girl, oh my god.
It didn't come as a surprise to me that Mion might have also loved Satoshi-kun as I did. We've always liked the same stuff, and even the same people. She was stupid enough to feel obligated towards someone like me. Oh, whoops. I told Granny to leave you and Satoshi-kun alone. I shouted at her. Then she said what? Then she said she'd let you be if you atoned with sincerity. And you did. So you were supposed to live happily with him. But Satoshi-kun has gone away. That's terrible. That's... Mion isn't smart enough to shed crocodile tears. Somebody has knocked. Those tears were real. Her tears dissolved my demon's anger like how the sun melts ice.
Picking up on the mic. This fucking guy.
Did James say he doesn't know anyone else lives here?
What?
What'd you tell James?
You
Didn't even bring him in here. God damn.
Fuck you.
Oh, you brought the femme and the incel. Good to see.
Did you bring banana bread?
What did you
We
bring?
made you a delicious bread,
Apples
but
in the
I
bread.
can take it back.
Spike it onto the ground.
It's just like a fucking football.
Hi, James.
Hello.
Welcome to my
Hi,
room.
James. No recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording.
I'm coming in.
Yes. Yes.
What?
Yes. He's my boyfriend.
Coming in.
Welcome.
Coming in.
hey, there he
Hello.
is.
Oh my god.
James is the room's boyfriend, dude.
He's
Yeah.
he's calling it under my nose.
I
Tempting
don't like
me.
the
I
room.
don't like your kind.
True.
I know what you are.
A virgin.
The homophobic dog. I know what you
I
are.
hate the gays.
Did you see that? Did you see that look?
Quote, Bunny Rabbit. Finally.
We got you on
We
recording.
got you on recording.
Yeah! The twitlonger. The twitlonger is real.
That's what- Can we get much
I'm-
higher?
So high. I'm gonna send this to Riot.
Why did you break this
Oh,
bread?
straw raz. That's really cute of
I
you.
know.
It's so fruity. It's got 3 different fruits in it.
I know.
Ty, you know how
That's
far
really
we are from
It
the
tastes
intermission?
great.
We are
I'm
really
sure it
close.
does.
Okay.
Lungs agree.
Give it back.
Okay,
Quiet on set.
Is your pork ready?
Is that a euphemism?
What the pork you, pal? Man, I put her up in everything.
about the
You're
penis.
shit talking me.
Sure as hell
Put this
did.
on your car.
I'm not yet. Give me time.
The car wash is open.
Give me
They have
time.
$5
Give me time. Give me
Wednesdays.
time. Give me time.
$5 Wednesday.
You gotta give me
Yeah,
time.
now.
Gotta give me time, pal.
Who are you waiting for?
Me.
He's not ready. He has to wait until he's ready.
I know he has to get his car washed. It's $5 on Wednesdays.
Can we get much higher? So high. We really came together as a group there. I'm proud of everyone. You can put that down in the kitchen, James. You don't have to stand there and hold it the whole time.
I'm just gonna become bread guy. This is my life now.
Guy.
Alright,
Alright, quiet on set.
quiet on set. Believe me, Shion. I really don't know why Satoshi-kun disappeared. Neither Granny nor the Sonozaki family has anything to do with it. Granny forgave you, so she would never do anything to him. Mion, I'm so sorry. Did I hurt you? Now she takes her hands off. Finally.
Took her hands
I
off.
took my hands off her neck and held her
During
instead.
that a whole thing where
The whole-
Sheehan was so
you just- you didn't do anything to him? Oh my god, Mion, I'm so sorry. Oh wait,
Did I?
I'm so sorry.
Did I hurt you?
I'm not hurt. You've been hurt a lot more than me, haven't you?
That's so the Notebook.
I smash cut to when Shion slams Sadako's head into a wall. I shouted at the demon in my mind. I believed in Mion. I had been convinced it was the Sonozaki family that made Satoshi-kun disappear, but Mion denied it while shedding tears. Between her and me, her tears are more convincing than any words, so I believed in her. It absolutely wasn't the Sonozaki family that made him disappear. So, Do you really think that Satoshi-kun disappeared because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? I don't believe in curses! And Mion didn't do it.
She's actually schizo now.
Oh yeah.
It's actually happening.
Oh, for sure.
Canon.
If it wasn't the curse of the Sonozaki family, who demoned him away? I don't know. I just know it's not Mion. It's not the Sonozaki family because Mion says so. If you combine Takano and Shion, you would have the perfect woman. That's stupid, Shion. Are you going to ignore Satoshi-kun's voice? I know. You don't have to remind me, demon. I can hear his voice. I know he's mumbling with an ambivalent expression like how he always used to do, even though he knows help won't come. I'll help him no matter what. I'll save him if he's alive. I'll avenge him if he's dead. But Mion didn't do it. You just want to take it out on somebody. It doesn't matter who. But I'm Shion, not a demon. You're only part of me. Don't try to take control. Fuck off!
Shion says fuck again.
Shion says fuck so much. Don't ever show up again. She has the demon inside of her, just like Mion.
She's just like me.
The demon faded away. My body went limp, and I fell to the floor while holding Mion. Shion, are you alright? I'm alright now, Mion. Why are we two different individuals? Why can't we just be one? That's weird. That's a little weird. Stop it. We've asked ourselves that so many times, but there's no answer. I'm Shion, and you're Mion. That's just how it is. Just smash cutting to Watanagashi makes this, like, weird. I don't care if I'm... Oh, what? I don't care if I'm Mion or Shion. I just want to be one and equal with you. There's nothing we can do. You have the demon on your back. You're destined to become the successor, and we can't change that. I don't want that. I don't need a demon. I don't want it. I'm not a demon. I'm not. I want to be a human just like you.
There he is.
Can we get much?
Higher, so high. Mion is a demon, and Shion is a human. Even though we're twins, there's a difference between us. Was it impossible for humans to live with demons after all?
This is just like a
It should be possible.
Silence from the peanut gallery. I will say this last little bit is a
Keiichi would be sans.
is a bit high school drama.
Oh, 100%.
High school drama class is.
Ryukishi really said, it's time to do my high school improv with Shion.
Uh-huh.
He said, I love melodrama.
It should be possible, because they did it before. That's the legend of Hinamizawa. Humans and demons lived in harmony together, as Oyashiro-sama watched over them. Mion, Shion, Satoshi-kun, demons, humans. Oyashiro-sama's curse, the series of mysterious deaths. Satoshi-kun's disappearance. We fell asleep while holding each other, while holding everything.
Oh, it lights up. It's really cute.
What the fuck are you gays talking about back there?
You can say the slur. I can just.
Connor, they're acting like you in VR chat.
No!
Oh shit, we have to do tits.
Oh fuck, we have to do tits.
Or we can do tits.
No,
like
no,
beginning
no,
of
no,
next
no,
time.
we should do tits.
Payment.
Oh, her fingers are fucked up?
Yeah.
I would suckle them. I'm sorry. That was vile. That was actually vile. Even for me, that
She
was
has several
vile.
fingers with no fingernails on them.
Geez, so what they did, let me see your hand. So what they did is they
don't need
take a little plier and they put it right there.
Oh.
You pop it,
Oh,
and it
and then-
opens your fingernail like a hood to a car door, and then they,
And they changed it by spark plugs.
yeah.
She,
Her family.
They're pumping me full of blue Gatorade! Oh my god!
What the?
Her family's part of the Yakuza, so it's Yakuza stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, 3 fingernail payment.
Daddy's big boss.
Yeah,
The guy who wrote this is gonna write a Silent Hill.
F, right?
I'm
Fuck
so
me.
excited.
It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so good.
Or
The guy
so
who drew those
trash.
sprites, he's gonna write it.
There's gonna be so many ... dude.
Oh my god.
So
Can't
many
have what's
fucking
not
ellipses.
possible. Umineko without ellipses.
You need ellipses.
You look like you should be on the Big Bang Theory.
I hope you didn't open a baggie for that.
Why would I do that?
Because that's what you would do. You've done it before.
Why would I not just eat the cookie that's out on the stove?
Because
Oh,
it's
he
something I would expect you to do.
He does look like a Big Bang Theory character.
That is offensive.
What the fuck are you talking
Hey,
about?
Tyler.
No.
Alright, let's finish. Like, calm. I saw Mio Takano a few times after that. To her core.
Bazinga.
You look like a cake pop.
You look like a K-pop.
I don't!
It looks like a BTS.
For our audio listeners, Dylan is Korean. Therefore, making this joke racially charged. At her core, she was fascinated with the bizarre, and she had an insatiable curiosity that was just as strong. I have to remind myself not to take her story too seriously. Otherwise, I might start believing that Satoshi-kun disappeared because of the curse. She talks about the dark history of Hinamizawa a lot. It's all very interesting. Her theories are based on nothing but conjecture, but some of her intuition covers the fact that only members of the Some of her intuition covers facts that only members of the Sonozaki family would know. She thinks that Oyashiro-sama's curse is the continuation of these ancient rituals. In other words, she believes that the curse is performed by religious fanatics. According to her theory, a religious cult once existed in Hinamizawa, and the three families stemmed from it. She believes that they are operating behind the scenes in order to retrieve the dignity of the Onigafuchi people, which was lost during the Meiji era.
I hope that stays on your string long enough so it burns in.
What did I say? In Onikakushi.
Sorry, I missed it. What was it?
Oh my god, dude. I have Takano's theory.
Yeah, that.
I literally have Takano's theory.
How do you feel about
That's
that?
literally what I've been saying the whole time.
How do you feel about having
I
Takano's theory?
feel so validated.
Interesting feeling to have.
The Takano theory is that it's like Hot Fuzz, where the whole town, or the Sonozakis are in on it, and there's a smaller religious sect that wants to bring back the Meiji period. Mio-san's theories are far-reaching, and looking at them on a larger scale, they end up making a lot of sense. You tap me out.
I did?
Or at least it stopped working.
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Okay, gotta make sure it's still recording.
But they can't offer any explanation for Satoshi-kun's disappearance while using them on a smaller one. Her theories are just too broad. Like her.
She's a broad.
She's a dumb broad. Fuck you, dude.
We got a big peanut gallery today.
You're gonna stand there until I finish these notes. I exchanged information with Oishi every now and then. We'd each expect new leads from each other, but neither of us had any luck. I no longer believed the tip that Satoshi-kun may be headed to Tokyo. It was clearly bogus anyway. Although I can't befriend Oishi, he's been fair about the deal. He alone has been serious about uncovering any new information. Oishi's sources are quite reliable, so whenever I found some dubious tip, I'd check with him to see if it was valid. My meetings with him have diminished in frequency since he's been assigned to new cases. Eventually, we stopped meeting entirely. Oishi stopped investigating and reached the limits of my source's information. And I reached the limits of my source's information. People now think that Satoshi-kun's disappearance, I'm gonna have a stroke, was a supernatural phenomenon called demoning away. In Hinamizawa, they referred to his disappearance as him having transferred, and nobody will talk about it otherwise. I don't like that phrase. It's used to erase him.
I don't like the way that phrase is used to erase him.
I'm gonna erase you.
Just read!
I am! I have been for like 2 hours! If not 3! You've read like 10 minutes!
I know. Don't worry, I'll have my fair share.
You can't read! You're blind!
What is that? Is that a guarantee?
I'm projecting. I'm projecting.
projecting,
I'm
I knew it.
projecting.
I
I'm
knew it.
projecting. During the upheaval surrounding Oyashiro-sama's curse in 1982, I was pulled this way, and by... Shut up.
This way and that.
Shut up. Don't say anything. I was pulled this way and that by new leads on Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Every time I found information that looked promising, I kept changing my theories. But that also became an incredible burden on me. It wore me down plenty on its own. The fatigue was harsh, but it also provided a very kind acceptance. Bit by bit, it soothed away the anger, sadness, and doubt that wore me down. I'll never forget Satoshi-kun. I'll never try to forget him and move on. I constantly repeated those to myself in my head. I repeated them to keep my memory of Satoshi-kun from fading too, over and over. For the sake of my fond memories of Satoshi-kun, together with my fear and my sadness, I repeated them forever and ever. I wish
Okay.
a woman would think about me like the way Shion thinks about Satoshi.
Women don't think.
Women don't
true.
think about me.
Women don't.
Women.
Women.
Am I right, guys? Wait, that was the end of the chapter?
Yeah.
I thought that was the halftime.
we got tips at the halftime?
I know, that's why I was confused.
Alright, buddy.
Woo! I love Higurashi.